In the headlines to the CBC NewsNight, the CARICOM summit officially opens in Grenada with the climate crisis high on the agenda. Vendors operating at Newton Christchurch looking forward to additional facilities.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome to the CBC NewsNight. I'm Wendy Berg. CARICOM heads are set to discuss a range of major issues affecting the region at their 47th conference. Foremost among them is climate change, which comes as several countries continue to pick up the pieces after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Our Crystal Hoyt is in Grenada, where that official opening ceremony is taking place. Good night, Crystal.
Good night, Wendy. Good night to our viewers. Well, I can tell you that the 47th regular CARICOM Heads of Government meeting opening ceremony is underway here at St. George University in Grenada. Prime ministers, foreign ministers, and other representatives of government convene to discuss important matters impacting CARICOM. Now, without a doubt, the climate crisis will take center stage over the next few days, given this last month and the devastating impact of Hurricane Beryl, which brought much disruption to several islands. In fact, this very meeting had to be rescheduled as a result of the hurricane. So, no doubt, there will be discussions on resilience. But a number of other issues are expected to be on the table as well. These include the ongoing conflict in Haiti, the increasing shipping costs resulting in high food prices across the region, and intra-regional travel. Of course, the issue of crime, which is impacting a number of member states, will also be at the fore.
Well, Crystal, we understand there are steps being taken to welcome some other countries into the group.
I can share that in more positive news, Curacao has officially become an associate member of CARICOM, signing the official documentation with Prime Minister of Grenada, Deacon Mitchell, just moments ago. Curaçao's national flag was taken to the platform soon after, making them the sixth associate member to join the 15-member grouping. This achievement underscores Curaçao's commitment to actively contribute to the development of the Caribbean community. And I can tell you that this ceremony is still ongoing, and I'll have more updates for you from the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government, CARICOM, in further news updates.
Thank you so much. Plans are being made to provide additional facilities for coconut vendors operating at Newton Christchurch. This comes months after they moved from their roadside locations to land prepared by Export Barbados and the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology.
The Barbados Association of Retailers, Vendors and Entrepreneurs, BARVIN, tells CBC News efforts to improve conditions for the vendors are still at an initial stage. Communications Officer Robert Maloney says they include sanitary facilities for vendors plying their trade at Newton Christchurch.
We are working very close with Export Barbados and Mark Hill. So as we mentioned, all of these things are in the initial stages. So it is now at the beginning stages. So we were just focusing on trying to move the vendors off of the highway to alleviate that main concern, because we know that an accident can occur at any time. But once we have them up here now where we know that this is a safer area, then we are now in the stages of rolling out all of those necessary things that would be needed to complete this facility. Again, this is just a start. This is just a shell of what Export Barbados intend to put, as long with the other vending communities and the vending zones that is to be established around Barbados.
Mr. Maloney says while the 8 vendors assigned to the vending zone are pleased to be off the roadside, they are facing a challenge where their counterparts from other areas are dumping coconut shells in the skips made available for their use. He says efforts are being made to address this issue.
So all of this is posing challenges, because once the skip is full, then they cannot no longer put them in there, and the guy that brings the replaces and changes the skip, he wants it to be at a certain height, because if it is overfilled, he said it risks the challenges of the stuff dropping off and damaging vehicles along his route. So we are trying to discourage persons, if you are not part of this particular location, right, well, just stay in your location, try to apply the same principles. If you come and you use your coconuts, you do your business, at the end of the day, try to remove the debris and not leave them alongside of the highway.
Government has announced plans to establish similar vending sites across the island. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
The Anglican Church wants more attention paid to reducing homelessness and unemployment in Barbados. This sentiment from the Most Reverend Bishop Michael Maxwell, Anglican Bishop of Barbados. He wants the Anglican Church to be more confident and energized as it moves forward to help address these societal ills. Bishop Maxwell made the remarks during the Anglican Diocese's 200th Artifact exhibition and cocktail reception. He, along with President Her Excellency Dame Sandra Mason, cut the ribbon signaling the opening of the event. It showcases artifacts, paintings, stained glass, photos of former bishops from 1824 to the present, as well as historical vestry minutes, among other things.
While we celebrate this bicentenary, I'm sure we as Anglicans, as patriotic citizens of this nation, are also conscious and concerned about the state we find ourselves today, especially in terms of the level of joblessness, homelessness, moral decay, materialism, addiction, violent crimes, recidivism, and the number of persons affected by NCDs in our society.
Bishop Maxwell has challenged the Anglican Church to recommit to its service delivery of feeding the gospel to the people.
God has so much for us to do as a diocese, so much more for our nation. And so I encourage us to take in this year, yes, as a time to celebrate what we have already done in and for our nation through our church in the field of religion, education, and health care, but also as a time to recommit ourselves to what more God is calling us even now to offer during this anniversary year and the years ahead.
3 weeks have passed since 71-year-old Anthony Coward disappeared, and his family is worried about his whereabouts. His ex-wife, Shirlene Coward, says his relatives and friends are still searching for their loved one, who was last seen at a bus stop close to his Airy Hill St. Joseph home on Friday, the 5th of July. She says relatives and friends are worried about how the former educator is coping.
My children are, they believe that he's still alive. They think that maybe he's somewhere, somebody has, rescued, well, not rescued, but probably, I don't know. they just don't believe that their father is dead.
Ms. Coward says law enforcement officials assisted with the search efforts last week. And on July 14th, CBC News covered a small search party combing the Chimborazo St. Joseph area, hoping to find the missing men. Coming up, progress being made for a program for parents. These statistics are showing many parents need support and skills. This is according to one of the organizations employed by the government to run the National Parentwise program. Speaking at one of the sessions at the Parkinson Resource Center, Advisor Ambrose Carter said the stats are showing one of the main reasons for high crime is poor parenting. He says programs like these can help parents. Mr. Carter also explains some of the important skills that will be passed on to the parents in the program.
One, communication, how to communicate properly with their children. The other one really is how to resolve conflict successfully. They're slightly different from conflict resolution. The whole question about being angry, the whole question of anger management, some of these things. But the other thing is for fathers, hugging children, kissing children, letting the children know that you love them, saying, I love you. Some of the things that in Barbados tradition you don't usually hear, which may come off a little awkward or strange for some parents, but it is important for parents to know these things.
Mr. Carter also says while the program has started slowly, it is now gaining traction with parents. However, he has made a call for more parents to show interest.
It started a little slow, but it's gaining steam now and momentum, and we are thankful for that. But we want to sensitize Barbados to the fact that this Parentwise program is going on, and we want them to get involved. We want to see more fathers involved. We want to see dads coming out. We want to see those men coming out and supporting their children.
Coming up, the weekend sports.
Good evening with Sports Night. I am Mark Seal. Barbados Olympic triathlete Matthew Wright may see his event delayed due to pollution of the River Seine. Today's official training session for the triathletes only involved the cycling and running aspects, as the swimming section was cancelled as a result of tests carried out on the scene yesterday. They revealed water quality levels that were above the allowable limits at certain points of the course. It's due to rain that has fallen in Paris over the last 2 days. So officials decided that in order to protect the health and safety of the athletes, the swim activities would be cancelled. Now, in an interview with CBC Sports, Barbados chef de mission Cammie Burke said there's a contingency plan for the triathlon to be delayed. And whilst cancelling it altogether is not a preferred option, it's still on the table.
They have identified the 3rd of August if the race doesn't come off on the 30th, they have identified the 3rd of August to host that event. So the decision to postpone will be delayed until the 3rd of August.
The chef de mission says while the food issues are slowly getting better, transportation is still horrible.
Whereas the volunteers may understand what is to happen, the problem now is the police and security. No air-conditioned buses. Don't want the buses they don't want the windows in the buses to open. We had one athlete who almost fainted because of the heat from another country. Then when you get to the venues, the police are not au fait with where the buses should go. They're going through security checks again. People got to get out and walk. So there's still a lot of coordinating that has to be done in order to get it right. So transport now is the main focus of attention for improvement.
Switching now to cricket, West Indies went crashing to a 10-wicket defeat this morning, losing the Test Series 3-0 to hosts England. Resuming their second innings on day 3 of the third Test on 33 for 2, the Windies were bowled out for 175. Bakal Louis and Kavem Hodge both hit half centuries, 57 and 55 respectively, while the player of the match, Mark Wood, took 5 for 40. Captain Ben Stokes then struck an unbeaten 57 as England cruised to 87 without loss to complete a series sweep of the Windies at Edgbaston. In motorsports, Barbadian Zane Maloney took a 6th place finish in the Belgium F2 Grand Prix today. Maloney clocked 57 minutes, 27.887 seconds in the 25-lap race to sit in 4th place on 111 points. Isaac Hadjar scored his 4th win of the season in impressive fashion to remain top of the standings on 165. Up next is the Italian Grand Prix, and that will run from August 30th to September 1st. And in horse racing, Mekal was the winner of last evening's featured race at the Garrison Savannah in the Crop Over Festival race there. Mekal won the Crop Over Festival handicap in 1 minute, 54.10 seconds. That's sports.
That's our news, and I'll see you again in the middle of August as I go off on some holiday. Thanks for viewing. Enjoy your evening.